Hello and welcome to the first video of the Power Query course. I'm Sumit Bansal and I will be your instructor in this entire course. In this video, I aim to introduce you to the concept of Power Query and the need that led to the introduction of Power Query in Excel. Now, Power Query was first introduced in Excel 2010 as an external add-in. So you could download it for free, install it as an add-in and start using it in Excel 2010. And then it was again an add-in in 2013. But in 2016, Microsoft introduced Power Query as an inbuilt feature in Excel. So if you're using 2016, then you do not need to install an additional add-in. You already have it available in the Data tab, and it's called Get and Transform. Now, Power Query is still an evolving tool or an evolving add-in, and Microsoft often releases new updates and new functionalities to it. So they would get the feedback from the users, and if they feel that there is something that can be improved or a new functionality that can be introduced, then they keep on introducing it. If you're using Office 365, then these are instant. So every month there would be new updates and you would get it instantly. But if you're using standalone versions, then you would get it with the new version. So for example, if you're using the standalone version of Excel 2016, then you would get all the updates in the Excel next version, which I believe would be 2019. Now, let me quickly explain why we needed something such as Power Query. Now, there is a popular concept in the data analysis world, which is called the ETL: extract, transform, and load. So here the first step is you extract the data from multiple sources. So these sources could be different databases, these could be different Excel files, these could be text files, CSVs. It could be that your colleagues are manually entering the data and sending it to you, or you are getting these data from Salesforce. There are multiple sources from which you can get your data. So your first step is to get all the data in one place. Once you have the data, you need to transform the data, which means that if you have additional columns that you don't need, then you need to remove those columns, or if you have duplicate data, or if you have blanks or errors, you need to remove the data and create it or transform it in a way that it can be used to do meaningful analysis. So for example, if you want to create pivot tables out of it, then you need to have the data in a pivot ready format. So you need to remove the duplicates if they are there, or if the data is not in the pivot ready format, then you need to convert it. So once you have transformed the data, then you load the data, and in this case the loading would be done in Excel, but in the data analysis world, the loading is done in any of the tool where you plan to show the reports, or you want to create the reports. Now in this case, Power Query can do this entire thing. Power Query can help you extract the data from different data sources. So you can connect Power Query to many different data sources, as we will see. Then you can transform the data within Power Query, and then you can then load the data from Power Query to Excel or to a connection, as we will see in the videos later in this course. Now let me take a very simple example and try and simplify Power Query for you and the need that Power Query can solve. So suppose you are a teacher and you are in charge of a class in high school, and you have to create a report where you have to show the marks of the students every month, or let's say every quarter. So there are teachers, math teacher, chemistry teacher, physics teacher. These people would grade the students, and then they would send you their Excel sheets to combine, and then your job is to open each of these files, combine the data, take the data, put it in a column, have all these columns for all these subjects, and then create reports out of it, which could be how many students got A in chemistry, or how many students failed the chemistry exam or physics exam. And as the teacher in charge, your job is to combine this data, load it in Excel, and maybe create pivot tables or create reports or dashboards. Now if this is done monthly, your process would be to get the data from these teachers, then combine this data, you open each file, you combine this data, and then you create those reports. What Power Query can do is you can use it to connect to a folder, and you can ask these teachers to save this file in that particular folder. And once it's there, all you need to do is, for just once, you need to go through this process. So you have to connect your Power Query to a folder, you then transform the data, you combine all these files, so you have these data together, you transform it, and then you load it back into Excel. Once you have done it, you don't need to repeat the process. The next time, the next month, the next quarter, these teachers put the data in that folder, you simply refresh your Power Query and the entire report would be refreshed within a second. So this is the power of Power Query, where you can quickly get the data, transform the data, and load the data, but do it only once. And if this has to be repeated, if this process has to be done again and again, you have already automated the process and you can simply refresh and the data, the reports would automatically update. So Power Query is really powerful because it allows you to do all these steps and automate the entire process. And we will see how this works in the subsequent videos in this course. That's it in this video. I hope you found this useful. Thank you and have a nice day.